What is up? Welcome to the Cardinals Squad Show. My name is Benjamin Garcia, credentialed Arizona sports media member. Yes, Kyler Murray deserves blame, but so do Monty Austin Ford and Jonathan Gannon. We'll discuss.
Jamil Douglas, former NFL offensive lineman. The Cardinals should be looking to trade Kyler Murray if he's not their quarterback of the future.
I was Clancy, Locked on Cardinals. It's only week 8. This is what the Cardinals need to do to save their season. You got to listen for that, baby. Let's get it.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
What is up? Welcome into the Cardinals Squad Show. However you may be listening, wherever you may be listening, thank you for continuously making this show a part of your day. We got a lot of things to dive into, but before we do, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Fellas, we are here. We are discussing like Clancy said this, and it kept on, reverberating in my head since we last talked was, how in the world did we get here, and how in the world did we get here? We will discuss. We've talked a lot about Kyler Murray and the blame, sure, that maybe he deserves and where the quarterback situation should go. It actually still baffles me that people are still dying on the hill for Kyler, but let's push that aside for a second. We were promised a different Arizona Cardinals. We were promised that this was a different regime. And I don't know about you guys, but I do feel kind of duped because I thought this regime was different. And it doesn't feel different. It feels like more of the same. Jonathan Gannon says and does all the right things. Monty Austin Ford says and does all the right things. He's getting A+ in the Players Association grades, that being Jonathan Gannon. But the wins just aren't there. Clancy, I have a feeling where you might go with this, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. How much blame do Monty Austin Ford and Jonathan Gannon shoulder in this?
I don't think Monty Austin Ford deserves a drop. When talking about this organization being different, it is different. That just shows how dysfunctional the last sector of the history of this team was with Steve Keim. Monty Austin Ford, Jonathan Gannon, Drew Petzing, Nick Rallis have changed the landscape of the culture of this team. That is a fact. Yeah. They've lost 5 games by combined 13 points, and they can't close things up. Yes. I think Monty Austin Ford, I said this to you guys before the season started. If we were to pick to keep one, Monty, JG, or Kyler Murray, I would pick Monty Austin Ford because I would pick he drafted a CB1 in the 3rd round. He drafted the left tackle of the future. Marv's going to be really good. He extended Trey McBride. He extended Budda Baker, which was the right move at the time, and James Conner. He's done the right things, and players got to play, and coaches have to coach. So with Monty, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole when it comes to this. Jonathan Gannon seems to be over his head at this point.
Wow.
The 4th and 1 call with him and Drew Petzing running it up the gut, that was you have no idea what you're doing right now kind of situation. It's little things. Jamil, you can attest to that. It's the couple mistakes you continue to make, even though they look different game to game. If those mistakes are made, you're not good coaches because good coaches don't make those mistakes.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's hard for me to place who exactly holds the blame for where the season is. I think in terms of we talked about this team having a unreal amount of depth before training camp started, and then injuries started to happen. And then you realize that there's not as much depth as you thought. With that being said, still competitive, even though they've, lost some close games. I have to say if I have to put it on someone, it's going to be the coaching in terms of just executing. I think could be better in the red zone, could be better at scheming up things to take advantage of whatever your deficiencies are on offense. And that goes for when Kyler Murray is in the game. I think there could be a little, because we now know that he's not the pocket passer that Jacoby Brissett is in terms of what this offense needs. So where are the adjustments to allow him to be more efficient and productive from a coaching standpoint. So I would have to say it's a little bit of both, but I would lean towards coaching in terms of like where I would place the blame.
Yeah, and real quick, not to jump in, like you've had a weird career arc with Monty Austin Ford, Jamil.
Yeah.
Like for those that don't know, but he was there. You were in New England when he was there, right?
Yeah.
And then were you in Tennessee when he was there too?
Yeah,
so
I was in Tennessee as well.
Scout? Was he like a lead scout or something? He wasn't in the front office yet, right?
I don't know. He was silent and in the corner, so it was hard to tell what exactly his position was. But you knew that he was primarily focusing on, I believe, the defensive and offensive line. He always stayed around our drills and things like that. So I think in Tennessee he was like an extra pair of eyes. I don't know exactly what his role was, but I spent a lot of time around Monty for sure.
I think Monty Austin Fort, while we'll stand on him for a second, then I want to get to JG as well, is I think he shoulders some blame. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. might be awesome, but I mean, we see flashes at times. You saw the catch against the who was it a couple of weeks ago? The Titans, where he mossed two guys. You saw it against Seattle, where he mossed, Devon Witherspoon, their best corner. But Darius Robinson, like, feels like a whiff.
Yeah.
Still TBD on Walter Nolan. Elijah Jones was a 3rd-round pick, never plays. You spent a 3rd-round pick on Tip Reiman, which still like kind of irks me because yes, he fit the role of the team, but you probably could have got him later on. And I also think, like, to Clancy's point, like, I thought the offensive line was fine, but I'm just a talking head. Clancy didn't think the offensive line was fine, especially at the guard position. And of course, I think we all agree, well, not Jamil, but we, kind of agreed that the Jonah Williams thing was DOA when he sat on his hands and he gave out big contracts to Bilal Nichols and Jonathan Jones. Like, I am nowhere ready to get rid of Monty. I think there are some bumps and bruises, but like, it's still so much better than Steve Keim. The Jonathan Gannon thing is interesting, man, because like you had Clayton Adams, you had Drew Petzing. You knew which one, like maybe we didn't know, but you knew which one was really important. And you let Clayton Adams walk out the door, and you kept Drew Petzing here. 2 games the last 2 games look good, but also like I think Jonathan Gannon has a much larger magnifying glass to him because he's at the podium every week. And the things he says and does at the podium irks people. But I think a lot of that is because they're just not winning. And so like 13 points over 5 losses combined, like I just feels like it's hard to blame either of them a ton because I feel like if they had a top 15 quarterback, they might be 5-1.
I mean, at the end of the day, players got to get stops on defense and players got to get first downs on offense. Coaches can only do so much when it comes to that. Now, maybe Jamil can, disagree with me on that. It's like when it comes to something like this, it's easy to make an argument for each person. It's on Kyler Murray because he's not a great leader and he's only good on offense 40% of the time. It's on Nick Rallis because they can't get a stop in the 4th quarter to save their life. Or it's on Drew Petzing for having a bad offensive scheme, but maybe that's Kyler Murray, so maybe it's Drew Petzing, and maybe it's Jonathan Gannon. Maybe Monty Austin Ford has had too many whiffs, or maybe it's the injuries. You can legitimately make a case for all of it. But I'm telling you, man, when it comes down to a play or two, you root for JG because he looks like he's like a nice dude and he's a good leader and people love him. Like, this isn't Cliff. People like Cliff too for different reasons. He gave him fruit breaks and cell phone breaks. It was different.
Yeah, dude.
Like your
Wild.
fun uncle was coaching the team.
Wild.
Like, with this, you want it to work and it's supposed to be working. And that's the tough part. That's the dysfunction.
Yeah, I agree. I think, man.
Well, Jamil, like really quickly, like have you the games you've watched? Because like, we watched the game, but we didn't play it.
Yeah,
I would say no, but
in
like for the people,
but
in terms of like the people of that are watching these games that are like kind of clamoring, like we just got to start over already. I don't think it's a large majority, but I think it is a growing crowd. Like I don't ever watch the games and think JG's just getting out schemed.
Yeah.
And he gets his side of the ball right for most of it. Like they fall apart in the fourth quarter. A lot of defenses do after wear and tear.
Yeah.
Do you feel like JG's ever getting just superbly outcoached by other coaches?
No, the Cardinals don't seem to me, and I'm speaking on the last 2 weeks. They don't seem they don't seem like they're a team that's getting outcoached because they're I know it's funny, but I'm speaking on the last 2 weeks because of the competition that they played and those teams and how they're respected around the league. They don't take me as a team that's getting outcoached. You don't take 2 top teams in the NFL to the brink if you're getting outcoached. Now, within that, there's also situational football, and there's a time where a coach makes that one call and the players execute it, and that gets them over the hump in a close game. I don't think the Cardinals have had that. Like, I think at times the Cardinals play a bit play not to lose, right? And we know how that works out. When you play not to lose, you end up losing regardless. I think they could be more like not in terms of like we're gonna play these people. You guys are gonna play us, and I still have yet to see that style of football show up in which we can say this is what the Cardinals do day in and day out. But I wouldn't say they're getting out coached, man. It's just it's 1 or 2 plays a game in which you need the coach to make a certain call that turns out different. The players have to execute it, but we're not talking about them getting blown out the last 2 weeks. You know, like these are close games. So what puts them over the hump? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the last 2 weeks they played 2 teams that have combined 2 losses through 7 weeks and a tie. They toe-to-toe. They were toe-to-toe with them. So that's not this Arizona Cardinals team. Even in 2021 when they were winning games, ain't no way they'd be like this. It's not. It's a mindset thing. Like we saw it week 1 in Washington, Jonathan Gannon's first head coaching start, with Josh Dobbs, who'd been there for 15 minutes, and they played smash mouth defensive football with no talent on that side of the ball. Like it's a way to show up. It's a way to prepare. All that stuff is there. The Arizona Cardinals, even in their wins, they were always at the mercy of the opposition. They were never forcing it. Like even with New Orleans, they had a chance to win at the end of the game. Buda Baker and Jalen Thompson don't break that up to Juwan Johnson. They score a touchdown. They go for 2. The Cardinals are 0-1. Carolina, the same thing. They were up, and then Carolina was driving at the end with a chance to win. Like the Cardinals have never been in the driver's seat, even during their wins.
100%.
And that's something that has to be coaching. It can't be anything else.
Yeah.
Like that is, as you mentioned, situational football. That comes with experience. Something these 3 dudes have less than 100 games combined of, and a little bit more than that now. But like, it's not a lot. So that's one thing that Michael Bidwell has never done. Monty Austin Ford they didn't do. It's not like, hey, Sean McVay, you get Wade Phillips. Hey, let him be the Sherpa. I don't care he's on the other side of the ball. Let that be your rock. For Brandon Staley, it was Ken Wisenhunt and somebody. I think it was Ken Wisenhunt and somebody else. Jim Schwartz. I don't know. It was somebody. It was some defensive guy. They don't have that. They don't have anybody to lean on besides Jeff Rodgers. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing now. Sorry to be long-winded. Like that's kind of what we're seeing situationally is they've never been in these spots before.
Do you guys think there's any? So at the beginning of the season, like Clancy had kind of used like the aliens reference with me. It was like, yeah, well, what if aliens invade State Farm Stadium? And I had said like there is a world where JG and Monty do get fired, and it's if the season kind of goes like it looks right now. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of going how it looks like now, but all I'm thinking to myself is I've got to see these guys with their quarterback. Give them a season, 2 with their own quarterback, the guy that they hand select. So, like, I don't want them to be fired, and I don't think they're incompetent. But do you guys think there's any world, Jamil, we'll start with you, that they could get fired, like that this could turn it around on its head, and both those guys could lose their jobs?
Are we talking about with Kyler Murray in the lineup?
Whatever you want.
I think
let's say that they put the guy that they think they feel the best to win, and let's say that that's Kyler because that's where we all think they're going to go.
Okay, so I think there's two different situations in where this can go. I think if you play, if Kyler Murray comes back and he plays, and you have a year in which you win 6 games, I believe that you're now susceptible to being fired as a coach because you've got your number one guy in there. I believe if Jacoby starts and the team is competitive and you win 6 games, they say, well, it was the number 2 quarterback that won us these games. We were much more competitive, but we buy ourselves the time to get our guy in the facility. So there's 2 separate ways. I think if your guy is starting and that's Kyler Murray that's going out there and you guys are just not winning games, I believe that it's either going to go one or 2 ways. Kyler's last year here and the coaches get fired, or the other situation.
See, but we're missing something here. Kyler Murray is their quarterback. He is handpicked. They took these jobs because Kyler Murray is the quarterback.
He is kind of right.
Ossenfort got looks elsewhere. Jonathan Gannon got looks elsewhere. This is a dude. Okay, nobody comes to the Cardinals as a first job looking at the history of losing and saying, you know what, hate the quarterback, I'll take the job. This isn't like the Patriots or, the Packers or something where it's like, you know what, 1 year, trade them, whatever it is. This was part of the plan the entire time. So this is their guy.
Yeah.
And with that, what Jamil said is right. It's like they're going to go down with the ship with their dude. So as I mentioned, no way Kyler Murray doesn't start every game if he's healthy, because it's not going to be, and that's not to say that Monty and JG will be gone. I think both of them will come back next year. Like, the proof of concept and what they've done to this organization is enough unless it gets super ugly and they only win like 3 games or something. And it gets super wild, which aliens would then invade State Farm. Where they're lurking. They're up top in their sausage.
100%.
One of these days, if the season goes really awry, we're gonna find out what Clancy actually thinks about aliens and find out if he believes in them or not. But we'll
100% exist. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Of course they
do. That was supposed to be saved for a podcast episode if this team ends up going 2-14, Clancy. So they're throwing that material right out the window. Let's move over to the Arizona Cardinals season as a whole. They will save their season if, let's talk about that next.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
The Arizona Cardinals season is obviously, taking a turn for the worse. They are 2-5 through 7 weeks. They have lost 5 straight games. I genuinely despise that there are a lot of media members out there who are saying the Cardinals season is over. I obviously don't think that's the case. There's a lot of things for this team to learn, even if it's not a playoff team. And, good luck to those other content creators trying to come up with content while saying the season is over. It's like, what are you going to talk about? The Cardinals save their season if Alex Clancy, I'll leave it to you.
Kyler Murray figures out the offense. And let me explain. Okay, there's a reason for that. This isn't supposed to be BS crap because we don't do that here. The floor for this offense is exponentially higher with Jacoby Brissett. It's obvious. The peak will always be exponentially higher with Kyler Murray. Always. Kyler Murray can do things on a football field that very few can. Okay, obviously there's a bunch of NFL quarterbacks, but like he's a 1%er. It's different. It's not perfect. It's gross sometimes. But to win a bunch of games, you're most likely not supposed to win. I mean, look at this. So the Cowboys, Seahawks, 49ers, Bucks, Rams, Texans, Falcons, Bengals, Rams. That's the end of the season. Jacoby Brissett's not going to win them those games. They'll be competitive. Maybe they'll win a couple. If you want to go on a run and save your season, Kyler Murray is the only one that can save it. He has it in. We've seen him pull rabbits out of hats. Will it happen? Probably not. But the way to save the season is to throw Kyler Murray out there and say, go. Just go do it.
Jamil, what do you just because I know you're Jacoby Brissett's number one guy, what do you say to that? That what do you
already jealous?
Well, what do you say to that? If like Clancy's saying, and I buy into it, that the only way this season can be saved is if Kyler Murray just goes on a heater, which we have seen before. Because, yeah, exactly. And Jacoby Brissett, to be fair, like in his career has not done that, but has looked better the last 2 weeks, and the floor looked really good. What do you say to that?
I mean, listen.
Do you buy into that? Like, do you buy into like Kyler's peaks and peaks to
I do for sure. I do for sure. I think Kyler's very, very talented. I think he's one of the guys that when we've seen it click, it's ridiculous. That being said, we haven't seen it click enough. And so what Clancy said is exactly right. Like, yeah, when he figures out the offense, I'm just wondering at what point in the season versus this schedule is that going to be the moment?
Yeah,
the first 5-6 weeks was the time, just given the teams you were playing, to figure out your offense, and he's missed the last 2 weeks. So I think there's going to be this him coming back. There's going to be knocking off this rust and timing, and it's not going to go smoothly how we would imagine it to. In order for the Cardinals to save their season, I believe this team has to become a defensive dominant team.
Interesting.
Like, this has to be a team that is getting turnovers weekly, getting their offense field position. I haven't seen enough of the offense. Well, I mean, the last 2 weeks I have, but prior to that, I'm speaking in terms of Kyler Murray being the starter. I didn't see enough of sustaining drives and, going down and scoring in the red zone consistently. That tells me that this has to become one of those teams where we talk about how the Baltimore Ravens were defensive dominant team and their offense was taking advantage of those field positions. So that's my take on it. I think you have to lean on your defense here. The pass rush has to kick up, and you got to become just a madhouse on defense.
God, feels like they were already that through the first couple of games, and they barely won games against the Saints and the Panthers. But yeah, I took this prompt a completely different direction. It irks me when people say, like, the season's over. No, it is not. There was always a likelihood that this team did not make the playoffs. But like, is this the Drew Petzing? Is the last 2 weeks of the season Drew Petzing, or and it was all Kyler Murray, or is this guy still an incompetent buffoon who can't call offense to save his life and is really uncreative? I took it a different direction of like, yeah, playoffs probably aren't happening. It would really save the season a bit though? Marvin Harrison Jr. starts to have a breakout. Walter Nolan looks awesome. And your young players continue to succeed and look awesome, because then I think this team is a very talented team that is just missing their franchise quarterback. That's obviously a tall task, but at least that everything around it is ready to go as soon as you get that guy, which is why, maybe you don't get the most talented guy out of college, but this team is ready-made to just bring someone in and say, hey, don't crash the, for our sponsors, the really nice Mazda. Don't crash this. Just take care of it, and everything else will take care of itself. So, Does Walter Nolan look awesome? Does Marvin Harrison Jr. look awesome? Does Trey Benson, break out a bit more than he did? Like, I'm looking at the younger players. So that next season, I'm like, this team's got talent, man. They just got to find their guy.
That's just a positive way of saying the season's over.
If they're cooked, just say that, man. If they're cooked.
I don't think they're cooked. There was always a world where they missed the playoffs. There was I didn't think it was going to happen this early, but at least we're just a quarterback away. And I'll stand on that. I do think this team is a quarterback away from being legitimate, not playoff contenders, but like playoff threats that they could go further than a lot of other teams. So
they believe
just showing everything else looks good.
If they believe that they were just a quarterback away, then they would be making a trade for a quarterback.
Like who? Who would be out there?
There's no one.
And also,
there. I mean, there's only one guy that everyone's talking about.
Don't you say Kirk Chainz?
No, but Kirk can make every throw on the field.
And the Cardinals would then have $90 million guaranteed this year to their quarterback position.
Hey, what about this? This is just a hypothetical. What do you guys think about Shedeur? Would you ever entertain that fact?
Why the hell not?
Absolutely not.
Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austin Ford? Hell no. But why not? Why not?
I'll tell you, because this is why. Because Michael Bidwell couldn't handle it properly. Like he couldn't handle the I don't care. I think Shedeur's a very respectful young man who was praised for not that much great production in Colorado because of his fault. That's not his fault.
For sure. Okay?
He wasn't the one that hit some dude in the helmet right in front of a ref and got kicked out of a game and then got cut like his brother.
Stupid.
Like Shedeur's got the quiet confidence he'll get his chance, but not here.
Hey, I was just asking.
You can't sustain that. I mean, you can't.
No, for sure.
But
for sure. I don't think there's anyone. There's no one out there, guys.
It's actually a decent.
So
actually a decent
Jamil,
trade idea.
So to the point of that is this is what I've always stood on. It's okay, then who else if not Kyler Murray? Trade Kyler to where? For who? Well, what would the capital be like? Okay, so you get a second round, you get a 2 seconds or a second and a third. Then what do you do at quarterback? Sign somebody. Who? Yeah.
The only team that's
somebody. Who? It's easy to say the alternative.
Hey, can I throw a name out there?
Sure.
While we're just there? Sure. Hey, I was thinking about this. Daniel Jones. He's
not letting him go, bro. He's getting extended.
He's not going anywhere.
Hey, I'm just saying.
He's the quarterback of the future there.
Yeah, and he's going to make $50 million again come this year.
God, all right, then
there's only one team. There's only one team out there that doesn't have a quarterback, and it's the New York Jets.
Yeah,
and I don't think we're taking Justin Fields over Kyler Murray.
Why the hell not?
And you're also not getting the first round pick that they're going to have, which is
100%.
It's going to be too high.
100%.
This is unfortunately a very muddy situation with no good solution. There's better solutions than others, but there's no ideal scenario here, which sucks because you're in the middle of a rebuild, you're in the middle of a retool, whatever the hell it is, and you don't know if your quarterback's the guy when you thought he was 10 minutes ago, it seems. And everybody's hurt, and the coaches are forgetting how to coach, and they've only lost 5 games by a combined 13 points in the entirety of the process. So do you take that as a positive? Oh my God, this is the best 2-5 team in the history of football. I think they are the worst good team in the league. They're not the best bad team. There's a lot of good here. There is. And
which is why I say they might be ready made for whatever quarterback comes in. But I'm sorry, continue.
But I just don't know. But who that quarterback is, who it could be? It's Jacoby Brissett. If you're gonna do it, just do it at home, and then you draft a guy. That's the only other thing. If you bolster your defense and everybody's there, like Jamil said, the way to save the season is the defense. Jacoby can handle the rest. He could Trent Dilfer the bleep out of the rest. He could Brad Johnson the bleep out of the rest. But the defense has to be what they were in the first 4 weeks and also not give up as many points in the fourth quarter collectively than they did in the first 3 quarters of each game so far. It can't be both.
Can you believe it just feels like it's written, long before our time on this earth that Kyler Murray's going to have 350 yards and 3 touchdowns on Monday Night Football. And then we're just like, the hell is this?
Listen,
Now, like, what the hell is this?
I'm rooting for the guy. I want to see that happen because
of course.
Beautiful me. You bought so much Jacoby stock. You're just waiting for it, man. You're waiting for Bitcoin just to fly.
Jamil, you're the one over here, like #1 Jacoby Brissett fan club, and I've got people in the comment sections telling me that I have a vendetta against Kyler.
Listen. Just because I like the way the Cardinals have played the last 2 weeks does not mean that I'm rooting against Kyler.
You're just rooting for Jacoby.
I'm rooting for competitiveness. Yeah. I'm rooting for pushing teams to the brink, and eventually you crack one of those teams, and that's all your organization needs is to feel that what it feels like to take down a top team. Like that's what I'm rooting for, and I believe from what I've seen, Jacoby has given them that edge in the last 2 weeks.
Dude, let's move on. But I just gotta say this. I love our listeners. I love the people that watch this show. But like sometimes, like I know it's bad, but these comments, Cliff better head coach than Jonathan Gannon. At this point, Cliff was better. Javier and back to Constitution, back to the dungeon for both of you, and think about what you've done. Some of you do not remember how incompetent Cliff Kingsbury was as a head coach. And it's like, I get the Jacoby Brissett, Kyler Murray debates. Like, you love your guy. We've seen it from Kyler in the past. It is no discussion to this point who I'd rather have leading this team. But with that being said, let's continue with the Kyler Murray discussions. Let's talk about some Kyler Murray trade, not necessarily ideas. If you have those, let's throw them out. But should the Arizona Cardinals entertain it before the trade deadline? Let's talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by our lovely friends over at Mazda. Having a brief, everything's just kind of going out of whack over here. But our friends over at Mazda continuously, sponsor the show. Good people over there over at Mazda. But as I go ahead and finally be able to get a second to say something, Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride. With it, more IIHS top safety pick plus awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings this same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. Let's move on to this discussion. I've got an idea for a Kyler Murray trade. I think I now have two, but we kind of discussed it a second ago. Should the Arizona Cardinals entertain trading Kyler Murray before the trade deadline? Jamil, go.
Why not? If he's not your guy for the future, why not, Clancy? Why not?
We don't just pull the ripcord. Like, this is lunacy. Like,
wow. It's not lunacy.
I'm not saying he's going to be the guy in 2026. Okay. Let's put down the record. I've been a Kyler. Yeah. Doesn't matter. I'm also saying that would be one of the most out-of-pocket, wild, incredibly surprising moves in the last 20 years in football. Like, it's not something that is really grounded in reality because Jacoby Brissett has looked good in 8 quarters. Let's just burn it down. Do you realize how insane that sounds?
No.
Like in a definition, in a dictionary definition, like this happened, then this happened. Wait, what?
You got to entertain it. You got to entertain it to see what the market is. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Clancy, what would make you change your mind? What would a team have to offer for you to change your mind?
Me going on the alien spaceship.
I cannot stand this.
There's not something that's gonna, like, it'd probably be fun. I'd probably get car sick, but it'd probably be fun. 2 firsts.
What?
No one's giving up 2 firsts for Kyler Murray.
Jamil, what would it take for you? What would it take for you to move on from Kyler? Not just who cares?
I am sandwich.
But what would it take for
Yeah,
you?
I'm not gonna answer that question. I'm not gonna answer Jacoby Brissett winning a game. Like, I'm not gonna answer that question. I just feel like if he's not your guy, which I don't feel like we listen, you know, when a team has their guy, the Cardinals are not hell-bent over Kyler Murray. So if he's not your guy for the future, what does a couple phone calls hurt? What is you know?
It ain't cheating if she doesn't find out.
Oh, words to live by, kids.
Listen,
Fantastic.
It's a joke. Gosh darn you!
Don't subscribe.
Gosh darn you!
Listen, what does it hurt to just test the waters a little bit? You know, when you're boiling something and the water spills over a little bit and you hear that.
What about it?
That's testing it. That's
how you putting your foot in the boiling water. This isn't testing anything. Like,
sometimes you got to do it, Clancy. Sometimes
cheat on your significant others and burn yourself.
No. Don't pair those two. Don't pair those two. Ben said that one. Leave that one with Ben. Let the record.
They'll be going on tour.
Let the record show.
But like Jamil,
you guys,
it's been 2 games.
Guys.
Okay, that's number 1.
It's been longer than 2 games.
Okay. Oh, I'm saying it's not like Kyler Murray's healthy right now and they sat him. Like, he didn't play and Jacoby Brissett came out and played pretty well. I'm not denying what's happened over the last 120 minutes of football at all. And I understand it looks starkly different. I also understand that what Kyler Murray can do on a football field when in his groove, very few can do. That is it's just true. And I know that it doesn't happen as much. And I'm not making an argument for why he should be playing. That's not it. It's like, you don't, unless you get a call and there's something you can't say no to. Okay. Marcos, not you, bro. Not you. Come on. Stay on my side here. It's you can't entertain it.
I'd entertain it. Hey, well, what if I'm going to give you guys, so Clancy's going to say no. I don't know why. Like, at this point, like, you guys are the ones that tell me the season is lost. Who cares if you blow it up by trading Kyler? Well, the season is over, right? In terms of not making the playoffs. Okay, well, you made fun of me for saying that I wanted the young guys to play well and that the season might be over.
Because you literally said right before that, I don't like when people say the season is over, and you're talking about the young guys play, so next year will be fun. It doesn't make, it's the same thing. Anyway.
Okay. Let me give you guys an idea. There is a team out there whose young quarterback is not panning out, and they've got a quarterback right now who kind of stinks. And if there's any team that is ready-made for Kyler Murray right now, what if the Minnesota Vikings called right now? Season kind of spiraling down the drain. JJ McCarthy's still out for 2 more weeks with that ankle injury, and they offered you a 2nd-round pick and something else, a 5th. You wouldn't take that deal.
Are we talking? Are they swapping JJ McCarthy as well?
Oh, you'd ask for JJ as well?
I mean,
you think Kyler's worth more than a 2nd-rounder right now?
Yeah.
It's okay. Kyler Murray in itself, yes, but you have to remember the contract that comes with it.
It's a bargain.
$46 million.
It's not even top 10 anymore.
Yes, but Kyler's not nowhere near the top 10 quarterbacks. That's the point. It's like paying, Geno Smith a ton of money.
Jamil.
No,
am I crazy?
What do you want me to answer here?
I just want to know.
This isn't where we're getting you in trouble. We genuinely want to know what you think.
Would I make the trade?
Kyler stinks.
Would I make the trade with the Minnesota Vikings if they offered a 2nd round and something else?
A 5th rounder, 4th rounder.
I have to get a quarterback in return.
JJ McCarthy and a 3rd-round pick. Make the call, Monty.
Send them FedEx.
Wow.
JJ McCarthy is not. We haven't seen anything that JJ McCarthy is a good NFL quarterback.
We haven't. I'm not gonna lie. We haven't.
That's not true. Monday Night Football against the Bears in the fourth quarter, he looked really good.
Yeah, dude, here's the thing. First of all, it's never going to be the Vikings because they would have kept Sam Darnold if they didn't trust J.J. McCarthy, even if they drafted him in 12. Like, that's not – Can we stay on planet Earth, please? Like –
Is it Clancy,
It's
I
far-fetched.
think
it's far-fetched.
I think we're
I don't think
okay. It's far-fetched maybe to pick a team, but it is not far-fetched to say if the Cardinals I think the trade deadline is week 9 now. If the Cardinals traded him in week 8, you would be floored?
Week 8 is this week.
Okay.
The trade deadline is the day after the trade deadline is the day after the Cowboys game. Okay?
Yeah.
So, hey, say he goes 13 for 19 for 120 yards and they score 7 points against the worst team in the worst defensive team in football. Hey, who the hell knows what happens at midnight? But, like, there's no, like, Kyler Murray's going to come out there. He's going to have 4 total touchdowns. He's going to tell everybody to shove it. And then we'll go to the next week when they play whoever they play. And then we'll revisit this. Like that, if there's ever a game that's a quote-unquote get-right game for an offense, it's that one. I'm not saying the Cardinals
is true.
Win, but it's ready-made for Kyler to come back and either really explode back on the scene or maybe not start another game as an Arizona Cardinal. Like, we don't know. But that is a perfect game for him to come back and play. Perfect game.
Okay. Yeah, let me that is great. It's the worst defense in the NFL by like every defensive metric, advanced defensive metric. They're the worst, that being the Dallas Cowboys. What does Kyler Murray have to do? Because I'm off. Like I'm off the boat. Like he should not be the starting quarterback next year. Just personal vendetta with Kyler is just getting in the way there. What does he have to do for Kyler Murray to be the starting quarterback next year for this team? For the rest of the season.
Win. Yeah. Gotta win.
But does that make the playoffs? Is that just
at this point? No. At this point, no. Yeah, I don't know that we can't even speak on playoffs right now. Like we gotta get some wins under our belt.
Win a game first.
Yeah, win a game. Win a game.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so what does he have to do? Because it's not just win a game and he's the next quarterback next year.
He didn't lose these last 2. So he's got a different record than everybody else does with the Arizona Cardinals. So if they get to 9 wins,
he'll be there.
That's a lot. So 7 more wins.
7 out of 10.
7 wins is 7 wins.
You can beat Jacksonville. You can beat Cincinnati late. Like even with Joe Flacco, who knows if Burrow will be back? Whatever. Like there are games you can win. You can beat the 49ers. You can beat the Rams. You've done it before. And if they get absolutely lambasted in division.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Ben. 7 wins in 10 weeks. Yeah. Everyone will be talking about this guy being the Cardinals quarterback next season.
Yep. I can't do it anymore, dude. At some point, we got to draw a line.
Well, you got to see it first. We haven't seen anything yet, so this is the alien part. Now, this is my alien part. If you win 7 out of 10, they get to 9, and they flirt. They're quote unquote in the hunt on the overlay in week 14 at like 4 and whatever it is. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be that. It'd be more wins than that. But, dude, if they start winning games against really good teams, they're only playing really good teams outside of Jacksonville the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like really good teams. Like not middle rung, really good.
Yeah, 7 wins. 7 wins with this schedule left would be ridiculous.
He's never beaten Seattle. I think he's beaten the Rams twice. One with Cliff, one with JG. I don't. Sure. If Kyler finds a way, he's got to win 10 games. It's got to be 8 out of 10. It's got to be unanimous for me for this guy to get the starting role next year. I want off the damn roller coaster of like, will he, won't he? Like, I get what you guys are saying, but I mean, it feels like we do this every year, right? Like he does this towards the end of the year, like the Niners game last year, whatever, like 5 total touchdowns. The Eagles game 2 years ago, going into Philly, like I want off of it. It needs to be so clear. They win 10 games, they go on a road, and like no one would be happier. I would be thrilled if Kyler Murray is awesome and we're talking about a winning football team getting into the playoffs. And I know you guys are saying like that's your alien, but I guess yes. I guess if there's a percentage chance on it, put like what 5% that Kyler Murray does that sort of thing for the 10 this season. Cause like I just can't see it, man, especially against all these really good teams. But could you imagine that? What we'd be talking about?
Well,
if he turned it around?
I mean, the crazy, it's not crazy. This was the barometer for when the season started. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Everything's the same. 10 wins, you come back. 9 wins, you don't.
Yeah, why is it? I don't see why is it crazy? Why is it crazy to say that if he wins these teams have been beaten. These aren't under Tampa Bay. We just watched Tampa Bay. Obviously,
it's stymied.
We watched Tampa Bay be beaten. We've seen San Fran, the Falcons, the Rams. We've seen these teams be beaten. There is no. Kyler Murray has to be able to beat these teams in order to, be the guy. There is no, he can't beat those. It just doesn't work like that. He has to be able to beat these teams.
Yeah.
You guys, okay, fine. Let me say this then, and then we'll move on. What do you think Kyler Murray, how many games do you think Kyler Murray actually wins? Knowing that they have 4 games against the NFC West left. And then what is it? Jacksonville, the Texans, Cincinnati. Wow, am I going to do this all off the top of my head? I think that might be it. Those 3 games plus the Tampa Bay. So there's there you go. So there's your final 9. The teams that we just mentioned, whatever's left in the NFC South, the AFC South, and then the last 3 games against the NFC West. How many games do you guys think he actually wins? That would tell me your belief in it.
I don't know if he finishes the season.
As the starter?
Yeah. I mean, it's so it is until it isn't. I've said
this is new.
If he's healthy, he's got another 6 weeks. But if it's down the stretch and they're way out of playoff contention and you sit him, it's not now. I'm not saying he should start now, but say they lose in embarrassing fashion for the next month. Yeah, sure, things can change. I just don't think they haven't been blown out with him either. Obviously the opponents were a little bit.
Well, they were getting blown out by Seattle. They
came back. But you can't do it both ways. They were beating Tennessee Carolina by 100.
Right.
You can't do both ways.
That's fair.
They were in games, and he's looked really good for 30% of the season.
I'm not
better than Jacoby's good.
I'm not gonna ask Jamil to answer that question because I know if he doesn't answer, it means it's probably not a favorable answer, but we'll just keep it 27-21.
27-21. I will say this. Kyler's going to have to score some points. If he's coming back after this bye week, the rest of the season, they've got to put up points to win these games.
They got to put up a 30 burger against the Dallas Cowboys at minimum. Russell Wilson had 450 yards against the Dallas Cowboys, man. Just
the
throw
Cowboys,
that
the Seahawks, the Niners, even I've watched Jacksonville have games where they can score. They're inconsistent, but the Bucks, the Rams, these are teams that can score. So we're going to find out what this offense looks like. We know what it looks like with Kyler Murray, but we're going to find out what it looks like with Kyler Murray in these last 10 weeks of the season.
Let's move over to our final topic. Jamil, you've been in a lot of these. Help us try to figure out why the Arizona Cardinals keep losing close games. How do they fix it? Why does it still keep happening? Let's talk about that next. First, today's show is brought to you by the lovely folks over at FanDuel. Right now, customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if that bet ultimately wins. Right now, right now, that's right. Pick a bet, put $5 down, and if it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using the FanDuel Sportsbook. I think it's the easiest to use sports betting app out there. And listen, we've been talking about some Cardinals lines over the last couple of weeks, and I've been doing pretty well. I've only missed one of them, but the Cardinals don't play this week. So let's check out some of the lines going on in the NFL this week. And if you just want to feel good about a bet for this week, maybe just take the Buffalo Bills to beat the Carolina Panthers. That's minus 390. You bet $5 on that, they win. You get $300 in bonus bets. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. All right. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals' close game woes. They continuously blow games late in them and barely win them, or just outright lose them. The last 5 games that we've mentioned before, they've lost by a total 13 points. I believe the Arizona Cardinals are the first team to have back-to-back games. It might be 3 games now where they were going into the fourth quarter, leading by 7+ points and lose. Jamil, is this a mental block? Is this like a closer coming in that hasn't gotten it out in 3 weeks? Or is this just fundamental issues from Jonathan Gannon and the rest of the coaching staff putting together a bad game plan in the fourth quarter?
I won't say that. I think they've played in some close games, right? Like when I look at what the Cardinals have done from a point standpoint, they are points for the Cardinals, 21.9, points against 22. So games are close, and which that's what the NFL games are. But at the same time, like, I believe that in close games, there are certain things that have to show up, and it may be 1 or 2 calls that a coach can make to get you in position to win the game. That being said, we know players have to execute. They haven't had their guy in there. It's really hard to evaluate the Cardinals in terms of, like, the injuries have been ridiculous. You lose your top 2 running backs. You've lost your quarterback. The defense hasn't had all of their guys on the field. And so I don't want to make an excuse for these guys, but at the same time, like, this isn't a team that's at full strength. Like I said, their depth has been challenged. And I believe when your depth is challenged as a team, it's a lot harder to win those close games when you don't have your guys.
I mean, I guess that's fair over the last few weeks, but like San Francisco, they were healthy. That should have been a win. Putting up 13 points on offense, that should have been a win. Defense saved you with the safety. Couldn't get 1 stop. They marched down the field like they were frolicking in a meadow, for an Eddie Pinheiro chip shot win. Seattle, that was the worst 3 quarters of offense I've seen in the Kyler Murray tenure since 2019. I don't care what it was. I didn't care. It was the playoff game. That was the worst offense I've ever seen. And then they decided, oh, you know what? Maybe let's try not doing that in the fourth. And they put up a whole bunch of points, and, they're Chad Ryland missing the zone away from, and then a go route, just a perfect drop in the bucket, throw to Jackson Smith and Jigba that sets up a field goal there. Like, Tennessee's the one where it's like, that's the only one that's inexcusable of the losses. That was absolutely bona fide inexcusable. It's not even on Amari DiMercato. They had 21 points scored with 8 minutes left in the second quarter, and they didn't score yet. I don't give a rip about that dropped in front of the goal line. Like, it's a combination of being bored when you have a lead and not playing hard, not putting this team doesn't have the killer instinct. That's it. They don't have the killer instinct on offense. Like, there's not – you see the Lions in week 1 or week 2, I think it was week 2 against Chicago, they won by 50. They're still throwing in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left around the goal line. Yeah. Like, the Cardinals don't have that, dog. They don't have it.
Why do you guys think they don't, though?
I think that part – that's – and Jamil can say it, but I'm going to say it. That's Kyler Murray. Like, Kyler doesn't have the dog. And you don't have to be a great quarterback. You don't have to. But there's people used to come at me and say Baker Mayfield would be better on this team than Kyler Murray, and I used to laugh in their face. And then you see Baker Mayfield and his players, because he has a shoulder injury, he could barely lift his arm, and he's using that shoulder to run over a linebacker to get 2 extra yards. It's just a different thing, man. It's a different thing. And I think the dog does come from the quarterback a lot of the time. I mean, Jamil, you can speak to that too. Ryan Tannehill had the dog.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, for sure. Ryan Tannehill.
Hey, wait a second. What's funny about that, Clancy, is you saying Ryan Tannehill has the dog, and he can elaborate on that. But we watched Marcus Mariota in that quarterback documentary a few years ago, and the one thing I got from that was, oh my God, I don't think this guy likes football. Sorry, that just clicked for me. But Jamil, go for the. I know you're not going to. Let me say that. You predict your guy.
We took a week off. We're back. Go ahead.
Nah, I think I've said that in prior episodes as far as the Cardinals don't have the foot on your neck mentality. I don't know, and that's part of why I said the reason for them to turn their season around is to be a madhouse on defense, because defenses can set the tone and get them in advantageous situations. I agree though. Like, we don't see that from the Cardinals offense. There's nothing that's daunting about their offense. Obviously, Trey McBride will be a matchup nightmare for life, and they have the ability. But yeah, it starts with the quarterback position, and you could say what you want. I think in terms of like Ryan Tannehill as a player, one thing Ryan Tannehill did was stand in there, take hits, and get back up and go play hard again. And so I'm not saying that Kyler doesn't, Ben. I can see your wheels turning.
I will.
I'm not saying, but I do think that teams either take on the personality of their head coach, or they take on the offenses take on the personality of their quarterback. And that is something. Go ahead.
Why does that happen? Why do teams do that? What happens in the locker room that they all look at Mike Vrabel and they just want to start fighting people, and Dan Campbell, and they just want to start biting kneecaps? Why does that happen? Because
there's a belief in these coaches. And I mean, those are two guys that played the game. I will say that. And so guys are ready to ride at dawn for those guys because they know that they can speak from experience. But I don't know. I mean, we see it in Miami, Mike McDaniel and how he coaches, and that team has taken on the personality of Mike McDaniel. Like, it's just a thing. I can't really explain why. It's what's being preached and things like that. So I don't think Jonathan Gannon has a hand in the offense as much as we think. I don't know that he's a guy that's going around and sitting in offensive meetings and getting up in front of the offense and talking about the scheme and why they believe in the scheme. He doesn't strike me as someone like that. So I believe that this offense has taken on a Drew Petzing mentality. I think Drew Petzing the last 2 weeks has called very good games. I just feel like, I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to wait and see when Kyler gets back on this field, because this could all be nonsense that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't like the Mike McDaniel wears pants that don't reach his ankle.
That too. That bothers me too.
When you're
he also just like dislikes, like, every week we try to figure out where he's going to sneak in the Dolphins diss, and there it is. Don't worry,
Ben, you help him out. Oh, you did that. You're troll. You troll. McDaniel thing, but to the point of like former players, way more former players have failed miserably at head coach than those who succeeded.
Yeah, so those are two really good ones.
Like, look at Mike Singletary. I mean, with the 49ers, he got laughed out of the building after a year. DeMeco Ryans is doing well. Like, I still would have taken DeMeco Ryans in a heartbeat. And like the culture shift there in Houston has been incredibly, pronounced from Bill O'Brien and Lovie Smith, and I think that was the last one. They just have to go win football games, and that's really what it is. It's like, just go do it. Just go do it. All we do is talk about what they should do to go win the games. Other teams just sack up and go win football games. You beat a team that you're up 21-3 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. You go put up a 40-burger. You don't stop playing football. You try to get 8 sacks against a rookie quarterback who tore you up in the last 7 minutes of the game and made Calvin Ridley look like Alabama Calvin Ridley. You just don't let that. Oh, I almost swore. I never swear either.
Ben said Calvin Ridley wasn't good.
Huh?
Ben said Calvin Ridley wasn't good.
He's not that good.
Okay.
I'd clamp him.
Okay.
Ben.
Now the show has officially gone off the rails.
Why?
For bonus content.
It goes off the rails when you say things. We keep it on the rails. It's our main job to keep it on the rails.
Hey, bonus content. How many likes for me and Jamil to do Oklahoma drill?
Oh, please. I would love to do that. I'll supply the pads, please.
Also, the medical assistance.
That would be great.
For Ben.
That would be. Listen, we could do that. On Sunday, we can do that since the Cardinals aren't playing.
Your neck of the woods or my neck of the woods? Because I ain't driving out there.
Wherever you want to do it. I will bring you to me to do that. That would be great.
You know what? I feel like I got to do it once. Just see when it gets hit by a guy that's played in the league.
Well, it'll be your last wish. So
Yeah.
Ben's gonna have to have Jamil's gonna have to have a lawyer present. He's gonna have a notary present. He's gonna have to have a police officer present.
Yeah, all of the above.
It's involuntary, I promise.
Oh man, it's gonna be like, I think that's like, this feels personal. It feels like Jamil's been wanting to do this. All right.
I would not mind. I would not mind.
I love that, bro.
Okay. All right. Now this is off now. This was supposed to be fun, but then it just turned out to be something that could be, what was that?
You started it. You started a fire. You're like, oh no, it's hot. What are we doing here? A controlled fire, not like 100%. An arson or anything. You don't condone that. Nor cheating on your wife, nor stepping in hot water. All of those things. Don't do any of those.
Well,
and that's analysis. That's analysis right there.
Analysis.
For everyone in the chat, Jamil and I will be with you guys later on in the week. Clancy's going to take a sabbatical from us, some well-earned time off. But for everyone in the chat, Keith, Back to Constitution, GTO Greg, Amadeus, Richard, Nate, all of you in here tuning in to the Locked On Cardinals Squad Show. We appreciate you guys being here. And we are going to continue to dissect this all a season long. But for that being said, for Jamil, for Clancy, for myself, we will talk to you guys later on this week. Stay safe, guys.